Harinda here with Harinda, and today we're actually going to cover the first 12 weeks of pregnancy, a lot of the things that your partners are going to be going through, and a couple of tips and tricks that we learned along the way that may hopefully be helpful for your partners. Let me start by saying that the first 12 weeks is a little bit of a sensitive period. A lot of parents choose not to announce their pregnancy to their family and loved ones, and the reason for that is because the first 12 weeks is where the probability of miscarriage is the highest. This is of course assuming a regular pregnancy. So what a lot of parents actually choose and tend to do is just keep this between the two of them until they reach this 12-week milestone. At the 12-week mark, there's usually a checkup that you do with your OBGYN, that's your obstetrician and gynecologist. And essentially what happens is this is where they will be able to verify that everything is going okay. That's the safe period in which a lot of parents wait to be able to announce to their family and friends, and a lot of parents just choose to keep that to themselves. So please be sensitive to parents that are around you that choose not to share, because it's a really difficult moment for them to not just go through this period, they have to adjust mentally and financially, and they have to plan for a lot of things. And as a result, it's really important that you, as one of the people in their family and friend network, give them that ability and time to just sort of acclimatize to this news. Let's talk about symptoms next. There's an incredible number of symptoms for the first 12 weeks that a mom will go through. I was amazed by the number of things that they typically feel and go through, and it seems excruciating. So before I even go through the list, I can't emphasize enough. Please be there for your partner. Please make sure that you are there to not just pick up after yourself, but do extra. Do as much as you can. This first 12-week period is so difficult and challenging for them, psychologically, physically, and everything. Try to be there for them in such a way that they feel that they don't really need to do anything. There's so much that they're going through in this period that it's really helpful that as the partner, you are not just picking up after yourself, after them, but you're doing as many things as possible, especially in this period. They need all the support that they can get. Let me go through these symptoms that I've actually captured first through whattoexpect.com. This is a great resource for new parents to actually get a little bit of information from a number of different angles. The reason I used whattoexpect.com is I found that the pages were informative, easy to digest, and at the same time, it doesn't capture everything, but it captures a lot of things and informs us as parents that in a way that's very helpful. So women will notice a number of different things, starting with changes in body temperature. So even for Leanne, what she felt was hot flashes throughout the day, in different days, not always. And so one of the things that we did was we actually kept a blanket around for her to just wrap herself whenever she felt this chill, and then she would take it off whenever she felt too hot. And this is a lot because the body is just acclimatizing to the number of chemical changes that are happening, and as a result has to regulate a lot of the things that are happening. Another thing is that the famous and classic morning sickness, right? Now, a lot of people think that morning sickness only happens in the morning. This is a lie. So morning sickness can happen at any time of the day, and it's typically something that happens when women don't actually eat enough. So as a result, the body reacts by making you vomit. So one of the things that you have to make sure you do is that you eat regularly. I had to remind her frequently because she's a working mom. And as a working mom, sometimes she's just burdened with a number of conference calls and things that she has to get done, and she needs to be reminded to eat. So make sure that you have a regular eating schedule from this period onwards. The next thing is lower abdominal pain. And with lower abdominal pain, one of the reasons for it is that the ligaments and tendons that keep your hip bones together actually have to start opening up. They start bending and opening up to make room for the womb. And so this is a really painful process, and you'll feel that there's not much you can do, unfortunately. There's a couple of over-the-counter medications that some mothers do take. Leanne didn't take anything and just sort of, let's say, suffered through it. Unfortunately, because of the nature of pregnancy, you're not allowed to put hot water bottles or things like that that may create other issues for the baby. There's also an issue with taste. While What to Expect describes it as metallic taste, what Leanne felt or noticed was that her sense of smell was super heightened. And at the same time, she also had this sense that all the food that she was consuming had gone bad. In fact, I couldn't notice something. One of the things that I did notice is that she was much more sensitive to food that had gone bad. At the same time, she was also noticing that a lot of foods had gone bad, which meant that just her sense of smell was a little bit off and she wasn't able to consume very much. The reason it was difficult is because she was actually not eating enough in the beginning, and as a result, it was a little bit of a concern because of course it would not just kick off the morning sickness, but at the same time, you do have to keep feeding your body with some really important things. Make sure that you do try to consume and find the meals that you can have. Beyond the bad taste, you also sometimes get food cravings and aversions. And with Leanne, what happened was that it was an aversion to protein, typically chicken. Even the thought of it would make her vomit. And so one of the things that she ended up doing was recoiling and having more fruits, vegetables. They say a lot of citrus fruits are really good for you in this period of time. Try to ingest as many fruits, vegetables. You have to get your proteins in there in some shape or form. What Leanne did was she went with canned tuna, but you can't have too much. So they say limit it to 2 cans a week. She would have 1 can and try to make it up with some eggs, egg whites, and things like that. Now, of course, during pregnancy, the body has to adapt. And so there's actually going to be quite a few physical changes that pregnant moms are going to see and feel. I'm going to run through the list, and I'm not going to pretend like I know a lot of the feeling of these, but I think it's important for us to be sensitive to understand that these are the things that pregnant women are going through, and to be not just sensitive, but be prepared in case you need to be able to support them on stuff. They will feel more discharge than usual. There's going to be spotting and bleeding in the first few weeks, and this is actually quite normal. There's nothing to be alarmed about. If it is excessive bleeding, definitely go to your doctor and have it checked out. However, this regular spotting and bleeding is something that's quite normal. So there's also going to be a lot of breast tenderness because the body is starting to prepare itself to produce milk. There's also going to be a lot of bloating. And the reason for that is a number of things. The digestive tract has to actually make movements and shift to make space for the womb. And this creates a lot of discomfort in many ways. There's going to be frequent urination as well. So one of the things is midnight peeing is going to become something of the standard. Now, beyond the fact that pregnant moms have to consume a lot of water and liquids, they will anyway be going to the bathroom more often. And the reason for that is because the bladder is also going to get constricted with the movement and the growth of the womb. Now, a lot of women actually complain about heartburn and indigestion. Leanne didn't go through too much heartburn and indigestion, but I have heard that it is a very common symptom. A lot of women, they take something like an antacid or something like that in order to just get through the day because there's quite a lot of chemical changes that are causing the stomach to get irritated. Now, some women also go through constipation, and this is a little bit more challenging because constipation is actually not good. One of the things that doctors may recommend are taking, these syrups for intestinal and stomach lining that may help for the digestive tract. Definitely increase your intake of fibers as well through fresh fruits and, cereals, oats, those kinds of things. Those are really helpful. Also, the headaches. This is something that happens a lot more and more. It's quite uncomfortable because there's a period of time in which the headaches can be caused for a number of reasons. Actually, on our side, one of the reasons that Leanne was feeling headaches and myself is because we both quit coffee. Now, she and I were both heavy coffee drinkers. We would have 3 to 5 espressos a day, and going down to 0, or for her, the occasional 1 here and there, was really, really challenging. Now, we went through, and I say we for this one, we went through 6 weeks of headaches because of the fact that we skipped coffee every single day. We were such heavy coffee drinkers that getting off of coffee was really challenging. Some people feel faintness and dizziness, and this is also really difficult because, of course, one of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to fall in this period of time. So just be ready to lean on things, sit on the floor if you have to. Typically, because of COVID, we were almost always at home. There's a few times that we went for walks and Leanne was not able to complete the walk, was getting tired, and so she would just lean on a tree or sit on the ground for a period of time, and then we would just sort of make our way back. Let's talk about fatigue. This is one of the most physically and psychologically challenging moments of any woman's life. And as a result, it's really difficult to go through this first 12-week period. Please expect your pregnant partner to go through a period of time in which they're really gonna need sleep. Give them the space, give them the time. They just need to sleep. It's not easy, and it's gonna be energy consuming for them to go through this 12-week period. One of the things that I've heard, but it changes from woman to woman, is the time in which you feel, let's say, lifted from this fatigue is different for everyone. So don't expect an end time that's predictable. It will happen for most women, but not all women. So just be ready for that. Check out the links below. I've created a Google Sheet for all of us in case you want to start tracking these symptoms. It's a very basic sheet that breaks every symptom that I've noticed down, but you can add your own week by week. Track them, because one of the things that you're going to want to do is also take these to your doctor and make sure that, you're just double checking that it seems okay. If it's your first pregnancy, like it is ours, we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, you can read as much as you want on the internet, but you don't understand if a symptom is too extreme. You don't know whether it's lasting too long. So just use this time in which you can basically try to understand if it feels okay. Typically, just because a symptom isn't on this sheet, it doesn't mean anything alarming. Please just make sure that you do track in some shape or form what your partner is going through. It's a very challenging time, so please be there for your partner. Please be there for them physically and emotionally. It is not easy, and our job as loving partners is really just to be there and fill up more than just the gaps. Be there comprehensively and make sure that you cover all the ground that you can. I hope this video has been helpful to understand what our partners are going through for the first 12 weeks. We're definitely going to be talking a lot more, because from here on in, I'll do a video week by week to talk about the doctor's appointments and some of the planning, along with more things that your pregnant partner is going through. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'm more than happy to give you any of the perspectives that we have and answer any questions from all the research that we've done so far. Please don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to our weekly updates. You're going to start seeing more weekly videos with updates of what to expect. And also, I'm going to start doing some product reviews for the products that we're going to have to start buying, starting with what we have to purchase for moms. Thank you, everyone. I'm Harinda, and this is Harindad. I hope your 12 weeks are going well.